3 loops on my hook across 2 stitches. Please don't rub your head on that hip. No! Off he goes. Off he goes after he leaves my place in ruins. He's on his way. Alright.
Hey, to build upon the runaway sensation of my first headband tutorial, I want to document another variation I had played around with. So if you're interested in learning another beginner and scrap yarn friendly headband pattern, watch on and we can work one up together. In this episode of Crochet Diaries, I'll show you another way to work up a headband. So what's different about this version? For one, it's a wider design that's worked horizontally as opposed to the vertical design of my first tutorial. And two, we build up into the band itself in a way that's more gradual. It's a gently tapering headband. What I did to achieve this was to start on the ties, begin increasing until we're at our desired width, and then work single crochet stitches up to the middle of the band and then on the other half. I'd mirror the increases with decreases and finish off with the other tie. And the measurements I'll be approximately working towards is 20mm or 7.87 inches from the first row to the midway point of our band, and 60mm or 2.36 inches in width for the thickest part of the band. For today's demo, I'm using some scrap yarn that I have left over, and I'll be pairing it with a 3mm crochet hook, which is the recommended hook size based on the yarn label. Let's start by chaining our ties. Make a slip knot and chain 41. The last chain will be our turning chain. Once that's done, let's work our way back to thicken the foundation chain. One option you're welcome to try is to work regular single crochet stitches along the foundation chain we've just made. What I prefer to do is work my stitches into the back bumps of my chains. I've done this a few times in some previous tutorials, and it's my go-to in creating a tidier edge. Once you've worked your way around to the other end, add another 2 single crochet stitches into the last stitch of the row. Don't forget to add a turning chain at the end, and you've just completed one tie. You'll see that by adding the 2 additional single crochet stitches into the last stitch, we can now use them in our next row and begin increasing into our band. Let's get started. For row 1, single crochet into the first stitch and increase into our second stitch so that we total 3 stitches in the row. Okay, on to row 2. Now we'll increase into the middle stitch so that we total 4 stitches in the row. For the next 2 rows, rows 3 and 4, work a single crochet into every stitch. And this is the repeating pattern for this project until you reach 12 stitches across. We increase in the first 2 rows and then work regular single crochet stitches in the next 2. For row 5, let's start up our repeating pattern again. So increase into the second or third stitch in the center of the band to total 5 stitches. For this pattern, you'll see that whenever an increase is needed, I'll add them to the middle part of my row, and I do this loosely. I don't think you need to be too concerned about where they're added, just so long as you do add them. Okay, so for row 6, same drill again. Let's increase so that we total 6 stitches in our row. Alrighty, so for the next 2 rows, row 7 and 8, I'm going to do a speed run through and just work a single crochet into every stitch so that we retain the total 6 stitches per row. And then in the next row, for row number 9, we'll start up our repeating pattern again, but I will work ahead and meet you back at row number 9. Okay, for row 9, right at the start you should see that you have 6 stitches to work with, and we'll be kicking off a set of our repeating pattern again. So go ahead and increase in the middle of the band to total 7 stitches for the row. For row number 10, let's increase again to total 8 stitches. You see the tapering that's happening? Things are going according to plan. We're now on row 11 and up to where we add a single crochet stitch into every stitch. I'll speed through this section again for this row and the next row, row 12, to retain a total of 8 stitches. At this point, you're welcome to crochet along with me until we reach row 18, where we'll total our goal of 12 stitches across our row. If you'd like to work ahead, just check out the chapters in this video. We're back to increasing, so let's do that once in the middle of our row again to total 9 stitches. For row 14 now, let's increase again to total 10 stitches. Okay, and now we're up to rows 15 and also 16. We'll work a single crochet into every stitch to retain 10 stitches. We're getting really close to the end of our increases now. We're up to our second last row, row 17, for increases. So let's do this once again to total 11 stitches. up to row 18, so increase one last time to total 12 stitches in your row. Alright folks, from here on out, we're finished with increasing. I've worked ahead, but let me explain what you'll do. Add a stitch marker to where you last increased and begin working rows of single crochet to build the length of your headband. I've continued on after reaching the midpoint of my band, which is where I've placed my second stitch marker, and onto the other side of my work. I'm now up to row 86, and this is where you'd want to align to row 17, the row where we last increased, to total 11 stitches, so that we can mirror when to decrease on this side of the band. If you'd prefer my measurements, I'm sitting at around 200 millimeters or 7.87 inches from row 1. Let's pick up at row 86. So where I place my decreases is the same as my increases for symmetry. Place them towards the middle of the band again. How to decrease though, if you're new to it, is to pull up a loop. Instead of yarning over and pulling through all the loops on your hook, you'll want to pull up a loop in the next stitch in the row so that there are 3 loops on your hook, and then pull through all 3 loops so that we total 11 stitches. In the next 2 rows after this one, rows 87 and 88, because we would be down to 11 stitches from our decreasing, we want to mirror the tapering from how we increased earlier. So that would mean we just work 2 more rows of single crochet stitches. I'll speed through these parts and meet you at row 89 if you'd like to see another demonstration of decreasing. Alright, row 89, let's decrease so that we total 10 stitches. Decrease again, work towards the middle of your band. Now pull up a loop, and then without yarning over, pull up another loop in the next stitch in your row, and then with 3 loops on your hook, yarn over and pull through all 3. For row 90, we'll continue on with the repeating pattern, so instead of increasing, we'll decrease again to total 9 stitches in this row. Rows 91 and 92, go ahead and work a single crochet into every stitch. For row 93, let's decrease again to total 8 stitches. I hope at this stage you're feeling comfortable working with this repeating pattern. Where our goal before was to reach 12 stitches in the row when increasing, we now want to work to decrease to 1 stitch, and we'll get there by row 104. In the interest of time, I'm going to insert the pattern to follow on screen. I'll work ahead and meet you at row 103. See you there. Alright folks, welcome back. We're at row 103 where we will decrease again so that we total 2 stitches in the row. Row 104. We've made it. Let's decrease once more so that we just have one single crochet in the row. Once you finish this step, that is the body of your headband completed. You'll see me fold the headband in half just to check if things are symmetrical, and it's looking pretty good to me. So after this step, you'll need to start chaining 41 again for your second tie. I'm again going to speed through the section as you'll approach it the exact same way as your first tie. Once you make your way back up the foundation chain, slip stitch into the base of your starting stitch, tie off, and weave in your ends to secure your tie and complete the project. That's a wrap, folks. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Please drop a comment below if you've made the headband yourself or if you have any questions I can help you with. Always appreciate the feedback. I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye for now.